morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us on After GMS. We are the Pink Ladies today. Yes, throwback to Grease, you know, the popular show. Okay. Anyway.
Unplanned, but coordinated nonetheless.
Pink Ladies. Yes, I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Molaris and Monique Robinson. It is Wednesday, July 13th.
And it is feeling every inch of July. It's hot and humid, and it looks literally like you copy and paste the forecast day to day.
Yeah, it's very minor tweaks. And when you live in North Carolina in the month of July, this is what you get.
It sure
Heat
is.
and humidity. And now, in fact, the Storm Prediction Center has us mostly under a level 1 marginal risk for severe storms today, which means starting as early as 2 p.m. on, we could see some strong storms. Now, lightning always accompanying storms because thunder is the sound, the lightning is the sight of what you see. Gusty winds, also possible heavy rain, which could lead to some flash flooding. Current conditions across the area are kind of a mix of differences. I mean, we're seeing sunshine in some places like Reedsville, but here at our station, we have a little bit more clouds out. And then as we look further south in Asheboro, we still have the clouds there as well. Today, I'm forecasting a high of 90 degrees with partly sunny skies and, as I mentioned earlier, afternoon storms. So let's take a look at this futurecast. As we go through the latter part of your Wednesday, this futurecast is picking up on some storms developing and moving across the area. This is all ahead of a cold front. You can see the strong line of storms pushing through right around the commute home from work, more than likely around 6 p.m. That's when things could get messy, and then we're going to be dealing with some light showers to follow thereafter. Clouds for the early part of Thursday. We've talked about the icky, sticky humidity across the area, and that accompanies mosquitoes. Those like to come out when it's hot and humid. So this full 7-day featuring those very minor tweaks in the forecast all the way through this week. Storm chances possible each and every day.
All right, so we're not going to feel the difference in terms of temperature. 89 is like 88 or 90.
Right, exactly, because it feels like they all feel like 100 sometimes.
They all feel
feels the same.
Yeah. All right, well, I'm glad you made the distinction. All right, so it is National French Fry Day. Of course, you're probably thinking, I want something cool on this summer day, but no, you get hot French fries. And you know, the Triad is home to some great ones. Several fast food joints are offering up free fries, including Wendy's and McDonald's. Of course, not all restaurants are the same when it comes to fries, though. So I asked you on my Facebook page, who has the best fries? Renee said, McDonald's, duh. And I also like Arby's crinkle fries. We heard from Hut, who said, is there such a thing as a bad fry? You know, that's a great question, but also added, I love Five Guys personally. Diane said, okay, but have y'all ever tried Penn Station fries? I have not, but I'm looking forward to it. Stephanie said Red Robin's endless season fries, and then Chick-fil-A. Who has the best fries? It's gonna be hard.
Okay, so this is not an advertisement. We're not being paid by any of these companies, by the way, to like mention their names. This is purely based on observation.
But if they want to send us some fries after, you know, I'm not gonna not accept it. But just
No. McDonald's, honestly, is there anything like a McDonald's fry? I mean, literally that could just be a meal, like opening up a big thing of McDonald's French fries, eating it up. It's so good.
I love Chick-fil-A fries, and it's interesting because growing up in Jersey, we didn't have a lot of Chick-fil-A's, so it wasn't until I went to college where I even got introduced to Chick-fil-A fries. So I was a McDonald's fan, and I love Chick-fil-A, but I love all fries. I think fries can only be bad when they've been sitting out for like an extremely long period of time, or there's too much oil. That's the only time I really think you can have bad fries. Other than that, I feel like they're all good.
And they're never quite the same after the initial, you know, right out of the hot oil. You know what I mean? It's just rewarming them or trying to eat them like an hour later. It's not the same.
Yeah.
The key to doing that is putting them on a cookie sheet with a little bit of extra seasoning. You can really crisp them back up, and then I think they taste pretty similar. But if you just pop them in the microwave, no, they're a soggy mess. They don't taste the same at all.
Air fryer works.
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
I haven't tried that,
helps.
but that makes more sense than the microwave.
Yeah.
And the oven just takes a lot of effort because then I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Like I've got to pre-plan when I'm using my oven, because that means like I've got at least 30 minutes.
Yeah. Wait, what is your favorite place? You didn't say.
Oh, so I like them all. I cannot. The only place I don't like, which is easier for me to say than the place I do, is Burger King fries. I've just never been a fan of them. But, you know, McDonald's, Bojangles, Chick-fil-A. I mean, if you put a French fry in my face, it's gone.
Are you guys a plain fry type or saucies? Ketchup, honey mustard?
Definitely no
anyway.
condiments.
She doesn't like condiments.
Just the fry. Sorry, that's just my personal take. I don't like ketchup, mustard, sauce. The only, I guess, condiment I would enjoy is like, let's say, pancake syrup.
Oh.
If that's
so,
a
I mean, in
condiment.
life, you don't eat condiments?
Yeah, no, I don't. Mm-mm.
Oh. What about for chicken tenders or like chicken fingers?
Just eat the tenders.
But no honey mustard? No
honey.
Polynesian?
No, this is odd, right?
Yeah.
Because like Ed like puts like stuff like that on his steak, and
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want it on my normal food.
No.
And he's putting on his extra food. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just me.
Yeah.
But I just eat them normal. But go ahead.
No, my son's in a phase where everything has to be dipped in ranch. Like even strawberries are dipped
Whoa.
in ranch. Yeah.
Whoa.
So I just dab a little bit onto his plate. I mean, if he's eating the fruit and vegetables,
Hey.
Yeah.
I don't care what it's dipped in.
Exactly.
As long as it's edible.
He likes
it. I don't care much for ketchup though, honestly. I'd prefer dipping fries in spicy mustard or even barbecue sauce. I think it tastes a little bit better, but I'm fine eating a fry plain as well.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with the fry plain, but no condiments in life is a little different. I mean, one thing I don't ever put condiments on is a hot dog. I love a
Yeah.
plain hot dog, but chicken tenders, a burger, anything else under the sun, I'm more than likely putting condiments on it.
That's so funny. So remember for
Let's go out to dinner together.
when we have.
Well, we have, but I never noticed. I mean, because it's usually brunch or something, so syrup
Yeah.
is,
That's
included.
That's the only one I'll eat. But like if there's like breakfast potatoes, I'm not grabbing. Remember
Ketchup.
we went to Green Valley Grill and I got the Green Valley Grill breakfast and
Yeah.
had potatoes and stuff. And Lauren was like, "Oh, I want ketchup and all that stuff," and I was like, "I'm fine." And
So
she
the
got cheese
potatoes,
on-
you're fine?
Yeah.
Wow.
And she was like, "I want cheese on my eggs. I want ketchup." And I was like, "Nope, just plain." You don't remember that?
I
You didn't
think I do
notice it.
remember. Yeah, I didn't really pay attention too much
Yeah.
for it. Now I'm going to be like mindful of it.
Well, as long as you're not judgy, it's fine.
All right, let's get to some comments here.
Yes.
Joanne said cheese fries, someplace good. Cherie said McDonald's and Bojangles, as long as they are fresh. Walter said homemade fries are the best. Would love to hear your recipe for that. Robin said Pete's Burger and more, best Reedsville fries. We heard from LeVar, who said the only thing he likes at McDonald's is the fries. And then
Seriously.
Joanne agrees with you. Oh, no, she did not say Chick-fil-A. She said Chick Gill's has the best fries. Shanika said Chick-fil-A, hands down.
I like sweet potato fries too. That's another
Yeah,
thing.
sweet potato fries are great. Robin Lawson said cookout fries are the worst, but she
What?
said everything else is great.
I wouldn't say the worst.
No.
I wouldn't say the thing is, I don't like fries that are too potato-y. You know, the ones that are like real, like more of a wedge, a potato wedge.
Oh, I like those.
I don't like those. Remember KFC? They used to have those.
They still do.
Oh, okay, I haven't been to KFC in years, but I remember they had those. I'm not a fan of those. I'm more of a
Yeah.
fan of like a fry cut. But cookout the worst? That's a reach.
I don't know. I still think Burger King is the worst, but everybody has like their own thing. LeVar said Burger King fries, yuck. Sean said beer batter fries are yummy. But one other comment was from Nadine, who said, anyone remember Roy Rogers? Do you remember Roy Rogers? They had like
Throwback.
chicken baskets. Yeah. I remember their fries. They were pretty amazing.
They have milkshakes though too? I think I remember their milkshakes than I do remember
Yeah,
their fries.
and that's what I go to Cookout for.
Yeah.
I go for their milkshake.
Right.
So I don't even really remember their fries
Yeah.
because I'm not like, when I go, I'm not like, can I have fries and a shake?
Yeah.
I'm like either or.
Yeah.
But at Wendy's, some people dip their fries in their
the Frosty.
Frosty.
In the Frosty?
My mom does that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, a couple more people say they like sweet potato fries. Honestly, for me, that was an acquired taste because growing up in the Midwest, we didn't have a ton of sweet potato options. That just is not very popular there. They're not grown the best there. And so it was regular fries. And so when I moved here, I thought, oh, okay, sweet potato fries, it sounds a little bit healthier. A little too sweet for my taste, but the more you eat them,
Love them.
they grow on
There's
you.
some place around here that I had them before and they were amazing. I can't remember where the restaurant was, but
Village
I
Tavern has some good
love sweet potato
Printworks
fries.
has amazing
Yeah.
sweet potato
Fries
fries.
in general
I mean,
there.
I look how I do not eat at all these fancy restaurants, by the way, all the time. I literally usually cook, but recently I've been getting out more, and have been to choose like Printworks and Green Valley Grill. I do go to other non-bougie places.
Joanne said Dario's. I had Dario's this past weekend. Their
never
fries are
had
pretty
that.
good.
What is Dario's?
There's one in Asheboro. I think there's also one in Thomasville. There's not one in Greensboro. But yeah,
okay.
you could find them around here.
Okay, because when I saw that, I thought they were talking about Dairy Queen.
Nope, Dario. It's in
Dario.
Asheboro. I think on Zoo Parkway.
Okay, everything's on Zoo Parkway.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah. Okay, I'll have to look out for that next time. I'm visiting my brother.
I love sweet potato fries. I've tried to make them before too, but they're kind of hit or miss. But I love sweet potato. I sometimes just make them like tater tots and I'll toss them with some peppers and kind of eat it like that. But I put ketchup on mine. Beyond the seasoning that I put on, I put ketchup on, you know, too. I don't just eat them plainly.
Right.
That is hilarious.
We've had many a meal together and you've never noticed. That's hilarious. But then again, I don't call it to attention. I just, you know.
That's funny.
Okay, so we've great conversation here about fries, but we have another one coming up, so make sure you stick around for that. We do have some pretty important news to talk about in our morning headlines, so we'll adjust to that. Crews are working to repair a pipe that burst in the Parkland Pool in Winston-Salem. The city says it's closed now, but it did not give us a timeline when they think it will reopen. The city says it did order the parts, but they don't have a delivery date just yet. The Parks and Recs Department in Greensboro says it is going to replace the playground at Brown Recreation Center. It didn't elaborate on the issues or when it will remove the equipment, but they did say there is a plan to replace it at some point.
Well, the Guilford County Board of Education has approved a new program focused on water safety. It provides all second grade students access to the Learn to Swim Healthy Lifestyle program created with the Greensboro Aquatic Center. It teaches students water safety skills. The district is still working on the logistics of the plan to implement this program. Guilford County Schools also is partnering with North Carolina A&T State University to build a community education center. The space will give tutoring, adult education, and community meeting rooms to students and adults, as well as in-demand job training. The center is expected to open in 2024.
The Children's Home Society received its largest donation in its 120-year history. A $8 million donation is now in the hands of the nonprofit. This huge financial gift was unexpected. With no connection to the Children's Home Society, philanthropist Mackenzie Scott reached out to let CHS know she'd be making the donation. The organization says their groundbreaking work to strengthen families is in conversations nationally and could have caught Scott's attention. The organization says either way, they're grateful, and the money will fund many initiatives like their family preservation programs,
where families who are in danger of having their children removed, they have the opportunity to work with a family preservation specialist. And they look at, those specialists are in the home with the family 10 hours a week for a month. And they are looking at whatever the challenges are.
CHS says 97% of families are still together a year after receiving this service. Their data shows it's kept 15,000 children from entering the foster care system. The money could not have come at a better time because CHS says they anticipate the need for adoption parents to increase with the overturn of Roe versus Wade.
We are facing a real challenge right now in terms of finding enough foster families to take children in. Right now, out of every 4 requests for a family that we have coming from the county DSSs, right now we are only able to meet 1 out of every 4. With so many changes going on, we know that it very likely will be facing a greater challenge.
And CHS says the cycle will only repeat itself if more is not done. They found that women who age out of the foster care system are 80% more likely to become pregnant by the time she's 21.
Well, have you traveled anywhere recently?
Yes.
I bet it was probably not as smooth as you had hoped.
It was not.
All right,
I can't wait to hear
hold that
this.
thought. A new summer travel survey from Bankrate found 79% of travelers experienced at least one travel-related problem in 2022 so far. The biggest headaches are unexpected costs. Many travelers say they found that the prices were higher than they were accustomed to paying. Other issues included long wait times at airports, hard to find availabilities, and poor customer service. At least 14% said they lost money because of canceled or disrupted plans. We're asking you here on our Facebook feed what travel problems you have experienced this year. Keep in mind, we're only halfway through the year.
Yeah.
And already we've heard about countless issues with airlines having flight cancellations. We've heard about the pilot shortage and subsequent pilot strikes. We've heard about weather-related problems, the gamut of things, not making vacations easy at a time when many people are so anxious to go on vacation because it's been 2 years of a pandemic.
Right. So while you guys go ahead and type in your responses, I want Mo to explain this
What happened?
amazing lead up to this story.
Well, my trauma is starting to become healing at this point because now I can use my credits for a new flight. But
There you go.
when I was returning home the last time I went home, my flight was delayed 7 times.
Oh.
And luckily enough, my fiance lives 15 minutes from the airport, so he was able to pick me up. And I was like, let me just wait with you while they keep figuring out when the exact time is. Because I was at the airport for like, at that point, 4 hours, and the delay kept going. And so finally, I'm checking my app, and I keep refreshing it, and finally it just says canceled. I'm like, I have to get back to work.
Right.
And so they canceled it and they rebooked me for a new flight for the following day. So imagine today was Wednesday, so they rebooked me for Thursday. And I would have to leave out at 7 a.m. and I wouldn't arrive to Greensboro until 11 p.m.
What?
What?
And I'm only coming from New Jersey.
Wow, you could have
Just
driven.
driven.
Right. And so what I ended up doing was just canceling a flight out and having to purchase a whole new flight. But the thing was, everyone was in that boat. So as I'm refreshing it, the flights were $2,000.
Oh my God.
Like coming from New Jersey here to Greensboro, 2,000. I'm like freaking out. I'm like, is this a mistake? I'm like asking my fiance to check. I'm like, what's the issue? And then I ended up having to drive across New Jersey to a whole new airport, a whole new area, and I was able to catch like the last flight coming back from New Jersey to North Carolina. But it was trauma.
Wow.
But now I can use those credits. I'm like a little fearful though to fly that same, I won't shout anybody out, but to fly in that same airline because I'm like, if I reschedule it, what if they do the same thing again? But
Wow, and that's so crazy because a lot of people fly out of New Jersey who are from New York because they don't want to go to LaGuardia, or, you know, and they feel like, you know, flying out of New Jersey is easier, but Newark Airport is incredibly busy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, trying to rebook out of there probably was a nightmare.
And growing up, I flew out of there so many times, so I never realized it until now. I'm like, wait, this is a really big airport.
really
Like I
is,
didn't realize it. And since living here in North Carolina, both here in Greensboro and when I was in Wilmington, I've been in so many small airports. I'm like, wow, I was at a big airport all my life. I didn't realize it.
Right.
Yeah, sometimes
that's
it's
a
just
bad
luck.
experience.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, sometimes it's just luck, and a lot of combinations obviously factor in weather, a huge
Yes.
part, especially in the summertime.
Day of the week that you travel
Yeah.
is also a big factor.
Yeah, we had a couple flights recently to Milwaukee, and I traveled the day of the wedding, and I was literally just praying that I would get there. A really good friend was getting married, but I didn't want to leave the kids for more than one night, so I flew up the morning of the wedding. Thankfully, everything went okay, but I was prepared for it not to. Honestly, I had to warn her. I said, look, travel is crazy right now. There's a chance I won't make it.
Was it a direct flight or did you have?
That's the thing. Your options, if you fly out of Greensboro, your options for direct flights are limited. Although I prefer to fly out of Greensboro rather than drive to Charlotte or Raleigh. And sometimes lately it's been cheaper to fly out of here than some of those bigger airports. But yeah, you're always risking it, especially with the connection. But if you take the first flight out, I've had good luck with that, at least for the first leg. You normally do get out on time. What happens after that is sometimes the issue.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a wedding to go to in March 2023. And we're already starting to look at airfare for it because we want to, you know, be able to turn it into like a little vacation as well. And airfare right now is affordable. So I'm like, let's go ahead and book. And we'll just deal with whatever travel woes come later. And I think that's what happens, right? You book a flight, you like, we'll deal with it later. But then you're in it and you're like, oh my gosh, like 2 days later, I'm still in the airport.
Yeah.
And so you're not thinking about that. So now I'm like, do we just drive?
Yeah.
Like hearing your stories, like I might just drive.
It kind of can get scary, but it's really just luck, and you just pray about it and hope for the best. I mean, the lucky part about now is I can use these e-credits for another flight, you know, in the future. So it's not like I'm entirely down and out, and I'm going to be doing more flying,
Yeah.
so I can
Right.
always use it again. And in fact, I think the voucher lasts until December of 2023. So I have like almost
whole
like
year
2
and a
years, to use it. So I have a lot of time to use the
Yeah.
flight, and so.
And you heard about those people who got $10,000
Oh yes.
for
Sign me up.
Yeah, simply saying well, we'll take a later flight.
We were debating if that was more likely a celebrity that was coming on, because like to get spots. We were debating that a couple shows back, because with that $10,000, I'm like, how does the airline just have $10,000 to just give to 8 people? Because it was 8 people, it
Airlines
wasn't just
have a lot of
one.
money.
But with what all they're dealing with, I'm like, they need to preserve their dollars.
They do need to, but they are a multi-bazillion.
One amazing thing
industry.
though about my flight that I remember, I was walking out and a woman was standing in the front, and I said, "Are you the pilot?" And she said, "Yes." And it was a woman pilot, and I was
Yes.
so excited.
You're like, I want to interview you, so how long to go?
I'm always so excited when I see females in the cockpit.
That's
It makes me
awesome.
so
I
excited.
love it
Yeah.
too. Yeah, that's awesome. So Dana mentioned a time that she had trouble getting where she needed to be. So she said her company is now having her fly out at least 1 to 2 days prior to
Oh, yeah.
when she actually has to be somewhere, which honestly is not a bad idea nowadays. Shanika said her worst traveling experience was her return from San Diego, 10 hours stuck in Chicago due to cancellations and delays. So what I've started doing, because I've dealt with these cancellations time and again too, is saving the customer service numbers to my phone for all the airlines I travel, so that if there is a delay or cancellation, I can go ahead and call, because those lines at the counters can be super long, and you're gonna miss any possible connection or rescheduled flight if you wait in that line sometimes. So I've had better luck just calling, and then some of them give you the option now to leave your number for a call back, so you don't have to sit on hold. It saves your spot in line, and they do call back. Sometimes it just takes a while.
I go the app route. Do you?
Yeah, the app.
Yeah,
I was
that
gonna say
too.
that.
The app just, and like you were saying, you're fresh and you're like, oh my gosh, now they're $2,000, so
Yeah.
that can happen. I wonder if Ginny is a travel advisor, but she says all the more reason to use one. And I like using travel advisors too, because they know when you should buy insurance and when you shouldn't. And I love having somebody else say, you know what, this is a trip you need insurance for. I'm like, okay, then it's worth $120 for insurance.
Yeah, I feel like if you're flying within the states, maybe
probably don't need it.
Yeah, maybe if you're going West Coast
Probably.
though, southeast to West Coast, maybe California, Las Vegas,
Right.
anywhere West Coast. But if you're in the States, I don't see it as much of an issue.
For a time, they weren't really giving you credits to fly again or your money back. They were just doing whatever they had to do to get you on another flight, but they
Yeah.
wouldn't give you money back.
Yeah.
Remember, it
Yeah.
was like a few years ago before the pandemic. Now I feel like they're starting to actually reimburse you or give you credits. Granted, I haven't flown out in years, so
Yeah.
I'm
It's
not
really
the expert.
situational, which is
Yeah.
part of the problem and why you can't do everything from an
not
app,
across the
because you have
board.
to like talk to somebody. Hey, am I going to actually get credit for this or a refund for this before I rebook?
Yeah.
Because you want to make sure you know. You don't, then that's an issue.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think the more you're able to navigate those apps, so they do have a lot of cool resources
Yeah.
on the apps if you are able to navigate it and know how to use it.
Special discounts
Yeah.
out here as well. Okay, so now I just want to take a flight somewhere, anywhere.
Let's go.
Yeah, but I don't want any of the travel problems that come along with it. All right, we're going to take one other look at our forecast before we say goodbye.
Alrighty then, jumping right into that satellite and radar, you could see nothing really too much happening on it. Now, the white that you're seeing that kind of fizzles in and moves out, those are clouds. They've been sticking with us and kind of making for quite a mess. Mount Airy was a spot earlier today that had some storms, not so much now. The entire area, for the most part, is under a marginal risk level 1 for severe storms. Just to make it clear for you, this means if you are in the green, and honestly, if you're in the area across the central Piedmont, you could see a storm. Some of those could develop to be strong and some may not, but if they do become strong, gusty winds, some heavy rain and lightning are the primary things we need to worry about. These temperatures have climbed even since we've been here talking during this after show, roughly between 3 degrees, about 4 degrees. Winston-Salem really heating up now to 78. By this afternoon, I'm expecting us to jump nearly about 15 or more degrees up to about 90. And we could see some afternoon storms across the area. The best time of it after 2 p.m. and then continuing through about dinner time across the area. That mosquito meter looking icky for the next several days. And you can see this 7-day not really changing too much. Minor tweaks in the forecast. All the while, though, still feeling hot and humid with afternoon storm chances each day.
So you mentioned a mosquito meter, and Megan is my mosquito meter. I just wait for her to say, the mosquitoes are bad, and I'm like, oh yeah. They like love her.
Yeah, I'm glad we have this table. I have mosquito bites all over my legs.
Oh,
It just
no.
happens every year. No matter what I try, scentless lotions and everything. Mosquitoes just like,
You got
like
good
my
blood.
I guess.
Good blood.
That's why I like when we're outside, I stand next to her. So they're like, Skip Tracy.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, send them my way.
I'm sorry.
Standing in the weather garden, I feel them all the
Wear a
time.
net.
Wear
Not
a net.
wear a net.
Can you imagine?
Maybe not. All right, thanks so much for joining us. And after GMS, we're going to have more great conversations. Mo is back with us again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's going to be fun.
Gal power.
Gal power. I love it. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Take care.